had a DM, or no, it was a comment on Facebook. Somebody put, I think I was talking about like Jupiter and Leo energy. Somebody said, "Hey, Tisha, I want what you're smoking." And it was too when I said money's energy. What if somebody had sat you down when you were 9 years old and just explained like credit, assets, life insurance, and all of that stuff? Like, it would be so nice if somebody did that, right? Wouldn't it? Like, if we just all were taught this when we were younger, because I think that we would feel a whole lot better when we talk about money. Money seems to be a theme right now, in a lot of comments whenever the word is brought up. And I get it. You can see what's going on in the world right now. And it's not because like when we're younger, a child should be worried about bills. No one should really be worried about bills. But as a child, we shouldn't know about working a job and paying bills and hoping something is left over. And we shouldn't be told that that's the only way to look at life. Now, the Department of Education, I did a video a while back giving you 50 ideas of what you could teach your children if you took them out of the school system. I know some people can't do that because they got to work a job. They don't have a babysitter, or babysitting is expensive. It's like almost paying rent. I'm hearing the prices are, but, as a child, you hear like, oh, go to school, get a job, hoping, something is left over. I really wish when we were younger, they started us off with learning credit and finances and how wealthy families use financial tools to create options. I wish somebody told little TeeTee that, my parents were too educated on all of that information. And I'm not the only one if you have a baby boomer as a parent. And if they did, they hardly knew anything. It's like they just know to work hard. But once you work hard, then you immediately spend everything. So I just wish I knew that credit could open so many doors. My parents used to use my name on bills when I was younger. Your credit history can definitely affect where you live, what you drive, how much interest you pay, how easily you can access certain opportunities. I just wish somebody taught me about ownership for real and about building assets, about protecting my income, understanding interest and taxes and insurance and how to make money work beyond physical labor, because most of us were only taught one formula. Like I said, go to school, get a job, work hard, and pay bills. My soul didn't sign up for that. And then retire when you finally are old enough to rest, and then your bones are broken and you can't even travel or drive, or you got to end up at Walmart checking receipts. Nobody stopped to ask whether that was the only formula available. Some of us are not bad with money. We're just simply, we were introduced and programmed for survival before we were introduced to any type of financial literacy. I think that's why back in the day, I learned how to do my own taxes. I learned about credit. I learned about consumer law, common law. I learned about all those things. But it's a lot of work. It's literally like, that's real education, like real classes. I feel like college, they leave you at a third grade level, to be honest. But on the upside, I think many of us grew up spiritually rich, emotionally intelligent, super fucking creative, hella gifted, and just full of all these ideas, but financially uninformed, unfortunately. We were really taught to pray for money, work hard for it, stress over it. It's just so frustrating. And sometimes even, it's like I get a sense of feeling guilty wanting more of it, right? Were you guys taught that? But we're not always taught how money actually moves. I always say we don't spend money, it circulates. We're not taught that money involves habits, our emotions, a form of discipline, of fear, responsibility, decision making. It's a whole lot in one, right? We weren't taught that wealth is not only about what you earn, it's about what you keep, what you own, what you protect, what you take care of, what you invest, what you pass forward. And when you don't understand the language of money, you can spend years working super hard into a system that you don't fully understand. And maybe I still would have chosen to work, but I would have understood that the goal was not to keep selling every hour of my life forever. The goal was to use what I earned to build something that could eventually support me too. And I wish I even had learned about life insurance. You hear all these rich people using life insurance. They take money out of the life insurance and use that to pay for X, Y, and Z. And they don't even have to pay it back. It's crazy. There's certain types of insurance that can be used as part of a larger protection estate, long-term financial strategies. You could have as many policies as you want. Now, I'm not saying that an insurance policy is some magical shortcut that automatically means you never have to work again. But if we would have learned about this when we were younger or had life insurance policies when we were babies, like if you have kids right now, get a life insurance policy. Because if I had them when I was a kid, I'd be a multi-millionaire right now. Because these strategies can also be very complicated. They can be expensive and completely wrong for some people. So this is not financial advice. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. You got to understand fees and risks and restrictions and long-term commitments before any financial decision can even be made. But I'm just saying, I wish I was exposed to that language a little bit earlier, because exposure creates the curiosity creates education, the education then creates the options. Don't we all wish someone explained how financial survival can really affect your nervous system? That's a big one. Because if you think about it, when you lived in survival mode long enough, rest makes you feel irresponsible. You receive this uncomfortable feeling. You spend when you feel emotional. And then here goes saving. It can feel impossible. And financial freedom sometimes can feel like something meant for other people when you're in that, But maybe the lesson is not to reject money or worship it. The lesson is really to learn how to manage it. It's like once you get it, can you keep it? Can you manage it? Can you make it go, throw it in a circle? That's what I like to say. So it can circulate. That way it no longer controls your spirit, your confidence, or every fucking decision that you make. That's why I always say, teach the teen and heal the adult. Because some of us are still learning this shit at 30, 40, and 50, And those things could have changed our entire lives if we had it at 9. And that adult version of us is often trying to recover from information we received as a child. Okay. So I'm saying all this to say, I'm not here to just look back at what we missed, but we should all start giving ourselves and our children information now. Maybe I should give you a few places to begin. So I would say, first, just really look at your full financial picture without judging yourself. Write down your income, monthly expenses, your debts, your savings, your assets, your financial goals. Excuse me. Mine is always my debt number and then what I want to make times 3. I got to be able to buy something 3 times. Okay. So you can't improve what you're too afraid or ashamed to examine. That's number 1. Second, of course, check your credit reports. While you're playing this game Monopoly, you can either operate as a business to a business, or say corporation to corporation. All right. And you can learn what's being reported on your name on those credit reports. Don't let this stupid fake score define you. Just treat it like information that can really help you decide what needs attention right then and now. And third, just learn the basic language of money. You can start with your credit utilization. You can learn interest. You can learn about CDs and compounding growth, assets versus liabilities, emergency funds, investing, taxes, insurance. You don't have to learn everything in one day either. It can take a while. I say just choose one topic each week and study it until you can explain it in simple words. You want to say hi, Jackson? Jax is going to speak for the remainder. So even if you only began with like $5, $10, $20 at a time, you are teaching yourself that every unexpected expense doesn't have to become a crisis. Okay. Lastly, I would say make sure you speak with a financial advisor that's qualified. There's a lot of insurance professionals out there as well before you use any major financial products. Ask about the costs and the risks and the restrictions and the commissions and the tax implications and who the strategy is actually designed for. Because there's a lot of strategies out there, but it might not be for you, especially if you have family. All right. And try not to purchase something simply because online made it sound like an easy path to wealth, and teach somebody younger than you. I always say teach one, each one, reach one. Teach them what interest means. Show them how to read a bank statement. Explain the difference between wanting something and being able to afford it. Talk to them about saving, credit, ownership. We can't go back and educate our 9-year-old selves, but we can educate the version of us that exists today. And we can make sure that our kids, coming behind us, don't have to learn every financial lesson through a struggle. What financial lesson did you have to learn the hard way? Because nobody taught you. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of common denominators here. And also, what belief about money are you currently trying to unlearn? I want you to put it in the comments down below. Somebody younger may read your answer and avoid 10 years of unnecessary struggle. So, this is where we teach a teen, heal the adult, and turn those lessons we learned late into instructions for the next generation, because it's definitely going to matter. All right?